Welcome to Global Pulse, your front row seat to the clashes shaping our world. Today's story? It's a ticking time bomb for America's heartland. One of the most iconic names in U.S. manufacturing, John Deere, just announced it's shifting part of its production to Mexico. And the backlash? Immediate and explosive. Donald Trump is threatening a 200% tariff on every tractor Deere imports from south of the border. This isn't just another corporate relocation. It's a fight over what it means to be made in America in 2025. Let's unpack what's really driving this move and why it's igniting a political and economic firestorm with rural communities caught in the middle. It wasn't a press conference. No grand announcement. Just a cold, strategic update. John Deere is putting $55 million into a new plant in Monterrey, Mexico, scheduled to open in 2026. What will it produce? Mid-size skid steers and compact track loaders, core machines for small farms. And here's the truth. It's not about greed. It's about survival. U.S. manufacturing is getting squeezed hard. Labor costs are surging. Worker shortages are stalling production. Supply chains are still tangled from the pandemic era. And inflation is piling on the pressure. Mexico, meanwhile, lower wages, skilled labor, proximity to fast-growing markets like Brazil and Argentina. In short, Mexico looks like the better bet on paper. John Deere insists that over 95% of its North American operations will stay put, with major equipment still built in Iowa and Illinois. But that didn't stop the outrage. Because perception matters. To many rural Americans, Deere isn't just a company. It's a symbol, a promise. And now, that promise feels like it's cracking. The move triggered a sense of betrayal, not just over where machines are built, but over what that says about the future of rural America. Is Deere adapting to global economics or abandoning its roots? And just like that, Trump stepped into the ring. At a rally in Iowa, deep in Deere country, he made his position crystal clear. If John Deere builds our machines elsewhere, they'll pay a 200% tariff to bring them back. 200%. It's more than rhetoric. It's a declaration of war on offshoring. Trump's message: if American companies move jobs overseas, they'll pay for it. And this isn't just aimed at Deere. It's a warning shot to every U.S. manufacturer thinking about expanding abroad. But here's the catch. Tariffs don't operate in a vacuum. Farmers, already squeezed by high interest rates and machinery prices, could see their costs skyrocket. Smaller suppliers and local dealerships could get crushed under the weight of a trade war. And Mexico? They're not likely to sit back and take it. If they retaliate, the impact could spread across industries, across borders, even into your grocery bill. Trump's allies in Congress are lining up fast. Proposals are already in motion to block federal agencies from buying foreign-made farm equipment. And now, the question hanging in the air: will these moves protect American workers? Or will they boomerang and do more damage than good? This isn't just a debate about tractors and tariffs. It's about whether we're headed toward a manufacturing revival or an economic misfire. And meanwhile, John Deere's bottom line is slipping fast. In a moment, we'll dig into the surprising financial pressure behind this pivot and why Deere may have felt it had no choice. So, John Deere is under fire from politicians, communities, and the media. But behind the headlines, there's another pressure mounting, one that's not about politics or patriotism. It's about performance. Because while the tariff threats make noise, Deere's numbers are quietly flashing red. Let's dig into what's really happening inside the company's balance sheet and how it's changing the future of farming. It's not just the threat of tariffs that's rattling Deere's cage. It's revenue. In its latest earnings report, John Deere posted a 35% drop in quarterly revenue, falling well below Wall Street expectations. That's not just a bad day at the office. That's a red flag for a company that's been riding high for years. So what's causing the slide? Commodity prices are down. Farmers are stretched thin by higher borrowing costs. Instead of buying new equipment, they're holding on to what they have or heading to the used market. Just look at this. TractorZoom, one of the biggest used equipment platforms in the U.S., reported a 40% spike in listings for large tractors. That means fewer sales for Deere, and a shift in how farmers invest. Meanwhile, sales for Deere's large-scale precision AG equipment, the high-end stuff, are expected to fall by up to 20% this year. That's brutal. But Deere's not throwing in the towel. The company says it still expects to pull in up to $5.5 billion in net income for 2025. And how do they plan to get there? Two words: cost-cutting and automation. That's right. While politicians rage about jobs moving to Mexico, Deere is investing in a different kind of shift, one that replaces people with machines. We're talking about autonomous tractors, AI-powered sprayers, cloud-connected dashboards. It's not science fiction. It's the new face of agriculture. The star of the show, Deere's fully autonomous 8R tractor. No driver, no cab, just GPS, LiDAR, and AI doing the work humans used to do. And that's just the beginning. Deere is rolling out drones that detect pests, software that adjusts spraying patterns in real time, and mobile apps that let farmers monitor soil conditions and machine health from miles away. In Brazil, they're even bundling Starlink internet access with equipment, so remote farms can plug into the cloud. Impressive? Absolutely. But here's the uncomfortable truth. These machines don't care where they're made. Built in Iowa, built in Mexico, it doesn't matter. Performance is king. And that's where the real job loss begins. A 2023 Oxford economics report projected that 20 million manufacturing jobs could vanish by 2030 due to robotics and AI. John Deere isn't just shifting jobs overseas. It's shifting away from people altogether. And now the question isn't why Mexico? It's, are we ready for a future where machines do the work and people get left behind? As technology marches forward and revenue slides back, John Deere finds itself in a strange position. Still respected, still powerful, but more vulnerable than ever. And the public's response? Mixed and loud. Across rural America, on radio call-ins, town halls, and farming forums, the debate is raging. Some see Deere as doing what it has to do to survive in a cutthroat global economy. Others see it as turning its back on the very communities that built it. One farmer in Nebraska put it bluntly: if Deere can build in Mexico, why not here in Nebraska? We've got the land. We've got the people. What we don't have is the loyalty. And that frustration isn't going unnoticed. Trump allies in Congress are drafting legislation that would block federal agencies from buying any foreign-made agricultural equipment. The White House is now exploring ways to tie tariff policy to domestic job creation. And on the other side, Deere's lobbyists are fighting back, warning that punishing the company could ripple through the economy. They argue that tariffs won't bring jobs back. They'll just raise costs, especially for farmers, in a time when global food demand is rising and margins are shrinking. So what does Deere do? Apologize? Reverse course? Not even close. The company is holding firm. No public regrets. No walkbacks. Just a full-throttle push toward a more automated, globally connected future. And that brings us to the crossroads. Because this story isn't just about one company. It's about whether American industry, the old-school, blue-collar kind, can still survive in an age of AI, automation, and global logistics. One side wants to bring back the glory days of American manufacturing. The other believes we have to embrace innovation, even if it leaves some people behind. Can those visions coexist? Or are we watching the slow fade of a tradition that once defined this country? We want to hear what you think. Should companies like John Deere be forced to manufacture domestically, even if it hurts their bottom line? Is automation a necessary step forward, or a dangerous threat to American jobs? And who's really speaking for the future, Trump or John Deere? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you want more deep dives into stories shaping the world economy, don't forget to subscribe to Global Pulse. The next shift is already happening. Don't miss it.